Hello and welcome to Crypto Condensed. Thank you for joining me on Friday, September 20th, 2019. How you guys doing? This is Champagne Crypto. I apologize because this is my second time of recording this video. The first time had no audio, unfortunately. So here we go, round two. I'm doing this again for you guys and for myself. So into the markets today, Bitcoin is over $10,000, currently at $10,000 currently at $10,098. Ethereum at 217, XRP at 29 cents. Overall market is fairly stagnant, slightly down 1% or if any. Our top gains for today are REN up 12% at 5.7 cents, 0x at 24 cents, up 11%, and ABBC coin up 10% at 23 cents. As we move on to the top 200, we see our top gainers are Bitcan up 14%, Trip.io up 10%, and Perlin up 8.29%. Overall, Bitcoin dominance is at 67%. As we look into the dominance, I would personally say we'll see more of a pullback all the way probably down to the low 60 percentage. I would say it's a good little resistance points in the 60s before we see a bounce. But who knows? Bitcoin is hard to predict. Anything could happen, especially with back coming around the corner. Onto the news. Ripple was in a lawsuit for the past couple months, and they finally filed a motion to dismiss it, as it was found out that Ripple is not a security. The person that unfortunately sued Ripple was a buyer in 2018, in January 2018, at one of the all-time highs, and unfortunately they did not get covered in the ICO. And the ICO, whatever the initial coin offering, was in 2013, and the case would have only been valid within the first 3 years. But this motion for dismissal was deemed because Ripple, XRP are separate entities. Purchasing XRP is not an investment in Ripple. There is no common enterprise between Ripple and XRP. XRP is a currency. That's why. And Ripple is the company. XRP and Ripple are two different entities and two different things. This is getting more and more clear now that we say now that Ripple has separated themselves from the coin XRP. Even with the banks, when they use Ripple technology and Ripple Ledger, they are not actually using XRP. They are using the Ripple technology to send their own currencies and own stable coins or whatever it may be. This is not a guarantee that XRP will go up. So if you do invest in XRP, it is in XRP, the currency. So even if Ripple is doing well, that does not guarantee that XRP will do well. So do your own research in XRP. This article will be in the description down below, as well as everything else. On to the more U.S. Congress news. Bakkt is launching next week on the 24th. And U.S. Congress to discuss cryptocurrency with SEC right after Bakkt is launched. So we'll see more regulation and more lockdown onto cryptocurrencies and figure out which are and which are not securities. Big question is, will Libra be considered a security? I personally do not think so, as Libra is a currency and will not be, like right here it says Facebook does not intend to pay dividends, but it is unclear if investors would have reasonable expectation of profits when they invest, because Libra coin does need backing by money to be able to be built and be used in the future. So we'll see how the future of U.S. Congress will decide if tokens of corporations will be considered securities or currencies. Tom Lee is very bullish, of course, and he is bullish on Bakkt, that it will improve trust within institutions to crypto. He says, I am very positive on Bakkt and its ability to improve trust with institutions to crypto. The platform backed will go live September 23rd, 24th, and will first offer physical Bitcoin futures. Investors who have been able to deposit funds since September 6th will take delivery of payouts exclusively in Bitcoin. This will be huge then. This will be huge ETF that's coming very, very soon. I will be curious to see the price action of Bitcoin in the days to come. If we'll see positive action as more investors will be buying Bitcoin in order to short Bitcoin, because in order to, or even long Bitcoin, in order to have future bets or future trades on Bitcoin, investors will have to own the Bitcoin in their accounts. Previously in ETFs, you could have shorted Bitcoin with US dollars, but that is no longer, I mean, that will still be available, but more and more now we are seeing Bitcoin being backed by Bitcoin and that's how it should be. So I'm curious to see how backed, and a lot of people are curious to see how backed will perform once it launches. As we might know, the last ETF in the CME group, when that launched in 2017 December, that launched at the top of the bull market. And once that happened, US dollar people were able to cash out their Bitcoin into US dollars and use the US dollars to short Bitcoin. This really provided turmoil for the Bitcoin market, as we saw a big bear market in 2018. But will 2019 end be different? We'll only find out next week. So tune in. I'll keep you guys updated on what's going on this weekend. But yeah, speculation is there. I do not know what's going to happen, but 10,000 seems the mark. I personally think it's going to be very flat. And maybe more altcoins will pop off. But that's my opinion. Do your own research. Check it out. On to some more news on Forbes.com. This pioneer in cryptography is building a cryptocurrency from the ground up. This guy, Silvio Macaulay, has been an MIT professor since 1983 in the electrical engineering and computer science departments. He's the recipient of the Turing Award, as well as RSI Prize in Cryptography, which is named after RSA encryption that underpins the internet. So this guy has been a long way in the internet and has seen it all. One of those, so Silvio Macaulay witnessed firsthand the technical limitations of early approaches, such as the scalability trilemma. It refers to the inherent trade-off between social scalability, security, and decentralization of blockchain networks. So his coin of choice is Algorand, and he started it in 2017. He's a pioneer in zero-knowledge proofs, ZKPs, verifiable random functions, VRFs, and probabilistic encryption. Algorand is developing innovations in the cryptography of blockchain fields and has raised $260 million from investors in the open source technology company, as well as token auctions from the Algorand Foundation. So check it out. I did some research earlier. Algorand, yeah, it was very hyped when it came out, but like all currencies, it dumped. Currently ranked 51 with a market cap of $115 million. Algorand opened at over $3 and currently sits at 30 cents, which is a 10x decrease. Who knows? It could be the bottom now and could be time to get in, but for me, I have not looked into this project at all. I just saw this news, which is pretty cool, about Algorand and its unique advantages. It is proof of stake, and it also has a consensus model similar to Cosmos, which is very hyped. And it's the future of Ethereum 2.0 and what it's trying to be. Ethereum, as you may know or may or not know, it is proof of work still, and is hoping to be proof of stake within the next couple of years. But that's been delayed year after year. I feel like the longer Ethereum waits, the more chances of other cryptocurrencies have to take over, like Cosmos and Algorand. One other advantage or disadvantage, if you may think so, of Algorand blockchain is that it cannot be forked. At a high level, forks of public blockchains result in two competing chains, where consensus by the community ultimately determines which is the original primary chain. For example, when Ethereum forked into Ethereum Classic and Bitcoin Cash is a fork of Bitcoin. Forks are highly contentious. They can split the community into entrenched tribes and lead to a security vulnerabilities. I personally do not like forks as they split the communities, as they say here in this article. I like one main chain and make sure that chain is reliable and sustainable. Like the when like more and more the forks. I feel like the forks split when forks happen. It undermines the main blockchain and takes away the main sustainability. But yeah, if you like non-forked staking coins, then Algorand is your choice with ZKPs and F or VRFs. Check them out. Do your own research. I'm just showing you guys the news for today, and this is one good forums article by Jeressa Blunt. Currently has over 2,000 views. Maybe it could be worth looking at, but check it out. Do your own research. That's my opinion, baby. So, on to new news of Yahoo Finance. SoFi, another consumer finance and wealth management startup, has begun rolling out a beta version of its cryptocurrency trading service to current members with three initial assets: Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum. The firm SoFi is partnering with Coinbase to complete trades. Its platform will be available in 36 states, including Alabama, California, Ohio, and of course, not New York. Haha, sorry, New York, but that's one of the main problems in the United States is New York and its regulation. SoFi, unfortunately, is a closed system currently, and you could only trade and transfer cryptocurrency within the SoFi investment accounts. And maybe in the future will allow out of wallet transfers, but currently does not. Maximum orders on SoFi Invest will be limited to $50,000 per day per user. Yeah, and yeah, this is yet another investment platform that's going into cryptocurrency. So we look to see how this next 2020 will provide fruitful or detrimental to the cryptocurrency network. I would compare SoFi to like MetalPay or Coinbase or any other crypto wallet you use, like such as eToro. Yeah, check them out. SoFi may be another one you might want to use, especially with the higher limit of $50,000 per day. Yeah, I'm not too sure about the fee structures, but you could do your own research there once it launches. And on to my last news of the day, which is probably the biggest yet by far. Why Wells Fargo plans to pilot its own cryptocurrency. Wells Fargo and Company this week announced plans to pilot an internal settlement service using a homegrown cryptocurrency backed by fiat money, starting with the US dollar. Wells Fargo Digital Cash, which will run on the bank's first distributed ledger technology DLT platform based on R3 Corda Enterprise blockchain specification, will enable internal book transfers of cross-border payments within the bank's global network. It will also allow banks' international locations to exchange the digitized money among themselves. The world's fourth largest bank said it already successfully tested the technology between US and Canadian accounts using US dollars. Additional currencies will be considered after the pilot, according to the spokesperson. So they're trying to. There you go. Another bank. Get another bank. Like J.P. Morgan coin is backed by U.S. dollars, so will the Wells Fargo Digital Cash. Of course, they're gonna for sure test U.S. dollars first, but once that happens, I could, I could predict that Bitcoin and Ethereum and other coins will be added as well. But yeah, like anything else, these are all still in testing. One thing I like here that they say is by 2022, at least 25% of cross-border payments involving U.S. banks will be using stablecoins moved across blockchains, according to Avia Latan, a Gartner vice president of research. The train has left the station and will start moving very fast once it gains acceleration. Oh yeah, clap for that. I love that right there. As we see, some coins already offer cross-border payments, such as Ripple and their Coinbase remittances program. You could send Ripple overseas right now with barely any fees. Same with Bitcoin, same with Ethereum, same with many other cryptocurrencies out there. But of course, the banks will want their own stablecoins, so that way they get their own cut. You do your own due diligence and see what currencies you would like to use, and let me know in the comments below. Yeah, but they're using R3 Quorum as their infrastructure. And one last thing, the pilot plan for 2020 is expected to be used at first to complete U.S. dollar transfers, with the goal to expand to multi-currency transfers and the entire global Wells Fargo branch. Gartner estimates that blockchain will generate $3.1 trillion in new business values by 2030, according to the research firm's July forecast. Enterprises will be ready to make a run by capturing some of that value by 2025 when blockchain technology matures. Matures. That's how early we are right now. 2025 when blockchain technology matures. Man, like this right now we are so early, and the banks are just now testing their currencies with US dollars still. Like, yeah, US dollars is still old. Like, they haven't even gotten to getting to send over Bitcoin or Ripple or anything you want, like Nano, Metal Pay. Yeah, it's so cool to see how the banks are finally hopping on. But as an early investor, I really think that Bitcoin is the future, and it should be fruitful to see once these banks start buying into it after like these bank like after backed and the more ETFs are available to the public. But yes, either you buy Bitcoin now or wait for Bitcoin to be sold to you by the banks at a premium. I mean, I'd rather buy my own Bitcoin myself through Coinbase or MetalPay or whatever entity you like. Even SoFi, once they launch their own platform, Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum, whatever way you can, get a hold of that cryptocurrency before the banks do, because that will be your own benefit, in my opinion. But that's all for me today. Again, this is Champagne Crypto. Check me out on Instagram. Follow me. Download MetalPay wallet when you have the chance. It's another wallet that you could buy cryptocurrencies on. I think over 30 cryptocurrencies is on MetalPay. And yeah, that's all for me today. Champagne Crypto signing out. Thank you for joining me on Crypto Condense. Peace.